Merry Christmas to you all. Can you believe it? Christmas. Less than a week away. So, all of you might have been wondering what this festive video I keep mentioning I'm gonna do is. Well, here it is, fellas. A Christmas challenge video for you all. And for all, a great nightmare. Well, what's the deal then, you're probably asking? Well, I'm glad you asked. The challenge is simple on paper. I'm sure a lot of you Payday veterans are aware of the Tabula achievements. Or at least Tabula Rosa. It's an achievement that forces you to complete Hoxton Breakout with a certain pairing of guns while using no skills. The thing about this achievement is, it's easy. You can use perk decks, it's only on overkill, and you don't even have to do it solo. But it got me thinking, what if I decided to make it harder? So today, get ready, because we're going over every Christmas heist. Death Wish, no skills, solo. Yeah, baby! Now, the rules are pretty simple. I have to follow the guidelines I just stated. No skills allowed, the heist will be on Death Wish, and no bots. By adding to this, I can use any perk deck, as well as any weapon I desire, which will stay constant throughout the whole video, despite me getting very comfortable with one specific build. Enough chit chat. How about we jump into it and get straight into our first heist? While I let White Christmas start, I'm going to explain to you the build I have going here to make this challenge possible. First and foremost, my deck of choice is Anarchist. Anarchist is the king of self-sustainability, and that no other deck can even come close to it. The armor regeneration from damage, 2-second invincibility, and the occasional recovery makes Anarchist the best choice of armor deck, and therefore, the best deck to pick because armor is our only renewable resource and we have no skills. Furthering the Anarchist idea is my secondary, a Grim shotgun with Dragon Breath rounds. Having enemies constantly burning means that I'm hitting every 1.5 seconds for that sweet armor regen from damage, without having to put myself at extensive risk. Now, there are obviously flaws with using fire rounds. Most obviously, dozers shrug the shit off like it's nothing, but I'll get to that in just a second. And secondly, some enemies do not get stunned when they burn. You see, most enemies when set on fire will begin to flail around, and this is incredibly useful. It stops the enemies from shooting at you, meleeing you, tasing you, etc, etc. But enemies like shields, medics, and cloakers do not do that. For whatever reason. Luckily, this problem can also be somewhat fixed. Moving on to my primary, I have a pretty standard big damage Gewehr rifle, and this is for taking out more pesky enemies like dozers and enemies I can't get full fire effect from. It has very bad ammo econ, so it has to be used sparingly. And then for my miscellaneous equipment, I'm using the buzzer to tase anyone who gets close, or to stagger enemies who don't flail from fire. And my other equipment will change. You see I start with fire grenades and medkits, but this will change and I will tell you what it does. Now, coming back to Earth and looking at White Xmas, this shit was easy. What you're watching now was literally my first serious attempt after some practice. I have a little frightful encounter with a Skulldozer while escorting Vlad's brother-in-law, but he's dealt with easy enough. Then I continue down the hill, get flashbanged, which scares the shit out of me, get Vlad's brother on the helicopter, have a mini heart attack as I get made into cheese, then I gun it up the hill to get back to the building where I can just hold out. And there's not much to say from here. Camping this building makes this shit cake as long as the dozer doesn't flush me out, and it never happens. I have a little iffy encounter with some shields, but overall it was smooth sailing until the helicopter showed up and got me out. Santa's Workshop is a lot more involved than White Christmas. There's bag carrying, a lot of awful sniper spots, and long distances to run. But overall, this only took me 3 attempts. Attempt 1 starts fine, shooting gang members, standing off the cops. But around the 3:30 mark, suddenly, dozer! And then, I get murdered from behind by another one. Never underestimate the double dozer smackdown. The second attempt was going a lot better. I'm around 5 minutes in, grabbing bags, and then literally right as the assault ends... Alright. Fair game. Had no idea a sniper could be there, honestly. This isn't a heist I play often. The third attempt is a charm, and it takes around 9 minutes 30 seconds. I have a few encounters with bulldozers, using my C4 to soften a few up, having a couple cockfights with snipers, and eventually I strong arm my way to dropping 4 bags in the chute and bolt my way out to the exit. So, I have to admit, I lost some of the footage from Stealing Christmas. I have 3 surviving attempts. Thankfully, the last one is the successful one. But just know that this took me a lot more attempts than it really should have. Third to last attempt, I get all the way to the C4 bit, but when I get back inside to duck from snipers, I get completely overwhelmed by enemies that just phased into existence, I guess. Second to last attempt, I'm struggling with a drill for much too long, and ultimately this gets me surrounded, tased, and very much dead. Finally, my last and winning attempt clocked in around 11 minutes. I'm not going to bore you with the details because frankly this is getting too long and we have the longest heist next. So just know, I got extremely lucky with sniper and dozer spawns and got the W, boys. Hoxton Breakout shouldn't have even been here, and it makes that very clear. In fact, instead of going attempt by attempt, how about I just show you this?
Oh boys! Playing Minecraft. I like it, cut G.
That's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Eventually, I do complete the first day of Hoxton Breakout, and frankly, I was excited. But you're probably wondering why I'm not going into more detail. Well, just watch what happens to my first attempt on day 2.
Yeah, I'm done.